There are few things scarier than seeing your battery light pop on while you're driving down the highway, because you know you are running on borrowed time. If you scan the car and pull up a code P2500, it is telling you specifically that the generator lamp or L terminal circuit is reading low. This isn't just a random bulb failure. This circuit is actually critical for your charging system to work. L stands for lamp, and on many modern vehicles, the engine computer monitors this circuit to decide if the alternator is actually spinning and charging. If the voltage on this line drops too low, the computer thinks the alternator has quit and it triggers the warning. This is a severe code because if your alternator isn't charging, your car will eventually stall and leave you stranded once the battery drains. So, how do we fix it? First, start with the basics. Check your battery voltage with the engine off. It should be around 12.6 volts. Then, start the engine. You should see anywhere from 13.5 to 14.5 volt. If you are barely seeing 12 volts while running, your alternator isn't putting out power. But here's the trick for the P2500 code. You need to check the specific connector on the alternator. Look for the wire that corresponds to the warning lamp. With the ignition key in the on position but the engine off, that wire should have battery voltage. If it doesn't, you might have a blown fuse, a bad relay, or yes, even a burned out bulb in the dashboard can sometimes break the circuit, depending on how the car is wired. Also, check the connector itself. These plugs sit right next to a hot engine and vibrate constantly. Loose pins or frayed wires are super common. If you have voltage at the plug but the alternator still won't charge and the code won't clear, you're likely looking at a failed internal voltage regulator inside the alternator itself. In that case, replacing the alternator is usually the path of least resistance. Just remember, this isn't a code you can ignore for a few days. You need to address it immediately before you end up calling a tow truck.